Life is meaningless without water. Being a precious resource, we must not squander water. Be prepared to save it for our sake. Conserve and protect water for goodness sake. Water is a precious and essential resource for the survival of humanity and environment. Our bodies are made up of 55 to 80% water, and animals and plants also depend on it. Whether we are drinking it, cooking with it, or using it for other tasks, we need water every day. Plus, water plays a huge role in keeping our environment healthy and sustainable. Just remember, while you can go without food for a month, you can only last about a week without water. So, let us all do our part to conserve and cherish this valuable resource. Hey kids, have you ever wondered where we get our water from? Well, the ocean is actually the biggest source. But unfortunately, more than 97% of it is salt water, which we cannot use directly. Next is glaciers. Just nearly 2% is frozen water in glaciers. The remaining unfrozen fresh water that is accessible is found mainly as groundwater and in rivers, lakes, and other water bodies, with only a small fraction present above ground or in the air. Did you know that water is constantly moving between the land, water bodies, and atmosphere? This sounds interesting. This happens through different processes like transpiration, evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and collection. When it is in the air, evaporation, condensation, and precipitation are the main processes acting upon water. Once on the ground, water can flow over the surface called runoff, seep into the ground, that is groundwater, and could be used by plants for transpiration. Eventually, water makes its way back to water bodies where it evaporates and the cycle starts all over again. But in diagrams of the natural water cycle, one thing is always missing. Can you guess what is it? These are buildings, roads, parks, etc., which comprise cities like Delhi. Did you know that a city has both pervious surfaces like parks and impervious surfaces like roads? These differences have a significant impact on the water cycle, especially in cities where a large population resides and is expected to grow in future. Kids, it is important to note that the water cycle that we teach to children may not completely represent where we live. Did you know that when we have a large number of buildings and concrete surfaces in urban areas, it can have a big impact on our water cycle? Basically, it stops water from soaking into the ground like it normally would, and instead flows really quickly into streams and rivers. Children, do you know about sources of water supply in cities? There are various natural sources of fresh water such as rivers, lakes, and ponds. Have you seen any artificial sources of fresh water like dam, reservoirs, and canals? We can also rely on groundwater as a source of water. This includes natural springs and hand pumps and wells that are constructed by humans. They can be really helpful when we need extra water. Certainly, I'm sure that you have experienced the joy of a refreshing rain shower. Do you know that you can actually save rainwater for later use? Finally, treated wastewater can also be a valuable source of water in urban areas. Kids, getting safe and clean water supply to our homes is a tough job in cities. It involves many steps like finding water sources such as rivers, dams, and groundwater. Once we find water sources, we can treat and purify water to remove impurities. This water is then stored and distributed to our homes and schools using pipes and pumps. After we use water for various purposes, wastewater is carried through different pipes and pumps to wastewater treatment plants. We then treat wastewater and make sure it is safe before returning it to water sources or using it for other purposes. So, kids, it takes a lot of effort to get water to our homes and schools. So, let us do our best to use water wisely.